Well, I had the opportunity to come here today. I'm Jake from Austin, if you don't know me. And, all right. Tyler gave me the opportunity to come out here today and talk about my security cameras that I've installed at Austin Public Library. And I said, yeah, I love talking about my cameras. But I didn't know I was going right before lunch. So it puts me in an awkward situation. But, okay, how many people here have security cameras in your library? How many people love their security cameras? All right, a few of us. That's awesome. After doing this project, I realized I missed my true calling in life, which is casino security. Because I can sit at my desk and watch 4 feeds and catch perps all day, and it's great, and I love it. So a brief history of what I did when I got to Austin last April. We had 9 500 TVL cameras, which is TV or TV lines. So basically, it's a little bit sub-DVD quality. So you pull your things, they're framed at about 400 by 500 pixels. Everybody just kind of looks like blurs. So it's like, oh, it was the blur in the red sweatshirt, and he did this stuff, and it was just a mess. We had external cameras from the police department that were high def, so we could see the park in high definition, but everything that happened inside the building was at 500 TVLs. The DVR was very difficult to use. It had an ostensible web portal for it, but downloading things was impossible. You couldn't download video clips remotely from your desk. You had to go to the main thing out front, and you had to shut down the camera feed to pull videos to give to the police. So if something happened while you were pulling videos, it caused all sorts of problems. And the web interface was buggy, and it didn't even work half the time. And it had to be an Internet Explorer, and full moon had to be happening, and the sea had to be cresting, and it was really unfortunate. So I went to Ann Hokinson, the director, and I said, Ann, have we thought about replacing these? And she says, oh, it was a big to-do a couple years ago. We had a company in to do it. And I'm like, there are cheaper solutions that we can just do in-house that would provide a better product for us. So the big question is I was pushing for an analog solution that would use some of our existing backbone. And the nice thing about analog video camera technology is that we're kind of reached the maturity, the end of the line for analog cameras. So they are incredibly cheap and incredibly good. And then the digital, which is the IP cameras that run over your network cables, and they require infrastructure and servers, and they cost a phenomenal amount. You get a lot of customization and a lot more remote access options with them. But it was one of those cases where I could do something HD DVI incredibly cheaply right away and do it myself in the library without having to involve anybody else in the process. So I got these lovelies. These are, come on, there we go. These are my little HD DVI security bubble cameras. We also have 2 bullet cams outside that are exterior mounted and qualified to negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit, rain and cold. And because they are analog, they use the same BNC connectors as our current cameras did, the 500 TVL ones. So all I had to do for the initial 7 cameras was pop the old ones off, drill new holes, mount the new ones, reconnect, and set up the DVR. So I had 7 cameras up after 4 work hours over 2 days. So out of my 9 original cameras, I had 7 converted in the first 2 days of use. We called the vendor to add an exterior camera to our IP camera system. It would have cost $5,000 for one single camera drop to our IP system, which I have a breakdown of what this whole system cost me the next slide. I don't want to ruin my surprise. I overbuilt the DVR. I've got a 16-camera DVR. Even though we only had 9 cameras, just because I knew that once everybody got used to seeing these lovely new cameras that they wanted to expand them. And interior runs, since it is low voltage, they're really easy to do. I just bought a spool of cable and I just run them through the ceilings and I can mount them wherever I want, although I'm having trouble with one soffit in children's that has taken me forever. So project costs. The entire project, I have 15 cameras, 11 of them currently installed. The DVR was only $830 for a 4 terabyte DVR with 16 connections. Had to get a 24 vac transformer box to run the power to. 1,000 feet of cable cost $80, and I got a whole bag of BNC ends, and my total cost was under $3,500. And the first 7 cameras had no additional cost in terms of cabling because I just used existing connectors. And overall, over 4 months, it took me 12 work hours of when the library was closed to get this done. So I don't think, that was the end of my slides. Did I leave my flash drive? I have a sample of a suspicious character. So, the other thing I wanted to mention, we mentioned pictures in Horizon earlier in the day. And what Austin is doing is, if somebody has the police called on them or is arrested in our facility, we are putting their picture in Horizon using security camera footage. I have a backlog of pictures, so I've been putting all of our miscreants and malcontents in the in Horizon. Oh, that's not. Where's me?
Jake, do you have any audio or just video?
Just video. Let's see if this will run for us here. But no, my only advice is if you choose to do a do-it-yourself camera upgrade for your library is buy more DVR slots than you think you need, because once you have a few, you're going to want additional.
So Jake, I just got to say, one of the things I really like about this solution is you're not taking up network resources like
right.
you would be if it was a digital camera.
There is there's the web portal that is in-network only, so I disabled home access, so we're not sucking up the bandwidth going home. Oh, Donovan was asking about the reason he likes the solution is we're not consuming a lot of bandwidth. But internally on the LAN, it throttles down the live feed. There's a live feed and a record feed, and it actually throttles down the resolution of the live feed, so you can run multiple live feeds and not impact the network like you were running multiple HD streams. And that's really nice. Because if I'm at my desk and I get a call to go out to the information desk, I can see who's standing there first through live view before I go out. So it really helps me know what I'm walking into.
That's cool.
Sneaky.
So
I'm installing this on your laptop, Tyler.
So yeah, so if you go into Horizon, you're like, why does this person have a 3/4 picture that it's because he got thrown out of Austin and arrested. So.
Use VLC?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I use it.
Oh, that's what you use for this?
Yeah.
So for anyone who doesn't know VLC, if you ever run a situation where you don't know a video
Thank you, Mike.
about to play, VLC.
Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Open with VLC. All right, so here's a 500 TVL footage of a really suspicious character coming into our back door. The screen's a bit dirty, but as you can see, you can't really see license plates. You can barely make out some models of cars. And that was unacceptable, especially when the police came and they're like, can we have video of stuff? And here's HD. And I'm still working on the field of view settings because I don't have a handheld monitor for the outdoor cameras. Oh, look at that suspicious character coming in. What a creep. But you can see license plates for interior. I don't want to infringe on anybody's privacy, but for interior pictures, we actually had a fight break out in our lobby where 2 kids jumped a guy in the lobby. And it was perfectly framed in my cameras. It was like I staged it. I was John Woo for the day because the fight broke out perfectly framed in one of my HD lobby cameras. Oh, it was very, yeah. So, but it was phenomenal because the police came and they're like, well, do you have any video? I'm like, do I have video? Come into the production studio. And I had them all sit down and I ran the video. They're like, this is great. This is an automatic conviction. I'm like, perfect. And I downloaded it onto a flash drive and handed them the flash drive and they left. It took about 5 minutes. It took them longer to find the kids in the bushes than it did to actually get the video pulled to arrest them. So we're quite happy. Anybody who can climb a ladder and match BNC ends and one red and one black wire can install these cameras. So there's really no reason not to in this day and age. So anybody have any questions? All right. Excellent. Thank you for having me.